Hello and welcome to the Slyphor channel. We're back for another instructional video in CubeWorld. This time we are doing the item slot, possibly the ingredients, depending on how long the items take us. As you can see, I've gone a little higher level, got a bit more power, and so on and so forth, but not by much. The item slot is where you keep all your foods, which heal you and various other things, and you'll keep bombs in here as well, which are also an item that you can equip to heal you. You can access these by pressing the tab and cycling through them, and you can see they appear in the queue slot down at the bottom, and when you've selected one that you want, so if you're casually running around picking a high level sit down and eat food, like the mushroom spit is good, but if you're going into battle you really want life potions because you can run around and use them. And then of course you want to equip bombs, which would also be in this tab menu, but unfortunately I do not have any at the moment. And they basically blow up a couple of layers of terrain and can damage enemies and generally do what bombs do. The other things that are in this item box are formulas, which are random drops from mobs. You can also buy some in the general store, and they make weapon or give you the ability to make weapons of different powers. So there are various different classes on them. So as you can see, ranger, warrior, rogue, and then because I'm a wizard, there are some that have no class, so they're my class. There are various different powers, so like this power 10 common wooden staff formula, or power 26 flawless silk gloves formula. Obviously they keep the colour of what the item would be, so obviously making these 26 gloves would be better than making, say, green 26 gloves. You activate these by simply right clicking on them, and it gives you the ability to then craft them when you go back to the crafting station. The final items that you can have in this box are leftovers. They also have different power levels, and you use them by going to this shop here, the identifier, and you just go inside, like any other shop, you chat with this person, right click the leftovers, it gives you how much it would cost to find out what it is, and by identifying it, scroll down to the bottom of your weapon menu, and that one was clean cotton gloves +5, which is a rogue item, so I would be selling that. But you can just simply go through all of them, identify, obviously you have to right click and left click like I did just there. Leftovers can come in the different colours that I mentioned last time, so you can get green ones, blue ones, purple ones, I assume yellow and red ones, although I haven't seen legendary or mythic leftovers. The highest I've seen are the purple epic leftovers. Yep, so that is the items box. I will run over to a crafting section and show you that I can now craft all the things that I recipe'd. Okay, so this is the tailors or seamstresses. I don't know which it's meant to be called, but the loom is where I make all of my armour, and as you can see, flawless silk gloves. They were the recipe that I used, and I can make a bunch of stuff. It's like I've got some really odd things in here, but they are all armours for me to use, and when you use a formula, you can then make said items. So a bunch of them I could already make, but the flawless silk gloves +26 were the ones that I was more important with, more happy about. So yeah, when you use a formula, you can literally just go and craft the item if you have the ingredients for it. So obviously keep an eye out for green and blue and red and purple formulas, because then you could be crafting some really good items that will help you through your adventuring. We still have 10 minutes left of this video, so let's talk about ingredients. Okay, so the ingredients is where you have all of the components for making food items, so like onions and mushrooms make mushroom spits, which I have here in my tab menu. Radishes, I don't know their purpose yet, but when I work it out I will add it into a video that I make. Nuggets and cubes. You gain nuggets off mining or destroying ore blocks that are in caves randomly generated throughout the world. You then use the nuggets with a furnace, which is in the blacksmith, who is just over this way. And yes, there's the identifier, I literally ran 2 seconds. Yep, you use them in the furnace over here, as I shall demonstrate, to create cubes of said type. If you're lucky, it will make multiples, so as you can see down here, I made 3, then 2, then 4, so I was very lucky. And then it went back to making ones, because my luck ran out. But, I then have a bunch of cubes. The only ones I don't know that you can make cubes for yet is the emeralds, sapphires, and rubies, and diamonds, obviously. But they have a different purpose, so you don't need to make them into cubes. When you then have cubes, you attach them to your weapons using this customization bench right here. So if I go wood wand, I currently don't have any wood cubes on me, but you can then use the middle mouse button and spin it round to find the position that you want to put the cubes onto. So if you wanted to attach them to the top, you just spin it and look down and place them on, or you could add patterns to the side, or stick some on the bottom so that it looks ridiculous. Also, you can add spirits. Various different weapons take various different spirits, so you can see here I've got 3 +1 ice spirits. I've also got some unholy spirits and some wind spirits. As of yet, I've worked out that wind spirits are primarily bow based, so rangers, you'll want those. Ice spirits, I've only managed to attach them to swords as of yet, so I have a feeling ice spirits are warriors, which means unholy spirits, as you can see here attached to my staff, make them mage based, and the other one is fire spirits. So I have a feeling they could well be rogue based. So you could trade spirits around and find out who wants what and generally sort out what you need. You obviously can't use spirits that are higher level than your power is, or ones that are too lower level than your power, so like this 14 isn't necessary for me anymore, so it only gives me the option of attaching a 17 and a 26. To attach them, you literally click on it, rotate it around, and then click it where you want it. When you've placed it, you can still pick it up and move it, but I have a feeling that when you drop it or when you close this option, so you walk away from the bench, if you go back and try to move them around, you can't do it anymore. You might well be able to. I've never tried it. I've obviously been cautious when customizing weapons, due to the fact that when you attach a spirit or a cube to a weapon, you can't take it off again. So really, you want to wait till you have a really good weapon, say an epic, a legendary, or a mythic. So a good idea to save up all your cubes, obviously low level spirits, use them whenever, because you're bound to get more spirits by killing more elite mobs and more bosses, which also gets you platinum coins for adaption and whatnot. But yeah, so weak spirits, just use them, it gives you a power boost, makes you better for the time being. But iron, say if you're making swords, iron cubes, wood cubes, or gold and silver cubes for bracelets, for wizard bracelets, and rings and whatnot. Obviously not rings, but bracelets. You really want to keep hold of those unless you just want to make a cool design, in which case go collect more. But when you get a legendary, an epic, or a mythic, that's when you really want to use them, because you're going to be keeping that weapon for longer, in which case you might as well put things on it to make it better. The other things that you get in the ingredients block is things like cobweb, plant fibres, cotton, and I believe the other one is something that I can't remember. That will come back to me. Plant fibre obviously goes to make linen, cotton obviously goes to make cotton, and cobwebs go to make silk yarn. These are then the ingredients you need to make your armour and clothing. Oh, obviously the other one is iron for warriors, because they use armour as opposed to linen, cotton or silk robes and clothing. But yes, so you make all of those and they can all be found in your ingredient section. You get them by destroying the various plants, like scrubs give you cobwebs, bushes give you wood, logs and plant fibres, so rangers hunt those bushes, and cotton buds obviously give you cotton for rogues. The other final little pieces that are in the ingredients are things like shimmer mushrooms, which as of yet don't really have a purpose, but you can drop them and they replace in the world, so they effectively become little light sources. So if you're running through a dungeon and want to just keep a lighted area near you if you're going to sit and eat, then you can just chuck down a couple of shimmer mushrooms or candles that you find in dungeons, or various different things that you then just like light up a little area for you. And the heart and ice flowers are also found in the ingredients section. You basically use them to make your potions and pots. Glass flasks also go into this ingredients section, and so that is why it is ingredients, because it's everything you need to make pretty much everything. Upgrading weapons, armour, making food, making the yarns to get you armour. And yes, so that has been the ingredients tab and the items tab. Order this a bit more. And we will see you next time for more CubeWorld. Goodbye.